Hello everybody and welcome to a wonderful video where I will explain the great day that I had on the beach. I'm not entirely sure which beach we were at, but I believe it was on the East Coast. I can check that probably if anybody really wants to know. But there was a lot of interesting wildlife and a lot of interesting things and a lot of seagulls, which will become a recurring problem throughout this adventure. Now what was nice is that for a long time while we were here, we had the entire beach to ourselves. There was nobody around, and it was really awesome. And there were a lot of birds, seagulls and sandpipers and the tiny calico looking birds I'm not entirely sure the name of, but if anybody's really interested, I can totally look that up and tell you. But for now, they shall remain the calico looking birds. Now here's really where the problem started. You see that seagull right there? That one? That was the king of the beach. He had no one to fear, and he was going to show everyone that he was to be feared. He cawed, and he straight up attacked other birds a lot of times, which was really interesting. Especially hearing the noises that he makes. Those were not something I expected to hear out of a seagull. You expect the caws and the weird screaming, but what he did didn't sound quite too right either. Now, it's around this time that me and my mom went on a walk. We found a lot of interesting things on this walk. I think that was part of a beehive or some kind of bug-made object, but here is what I found really interesting. A dead sea urchin. And you can tell because I make some interesting comments about it.
Cool.
As you can tell, I get pretty excited about some of my finds. I also found a lot of these little seed pods, which I believe to be maybe kelp or some kind of water plant that got brushed ashore. Either way, I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure I can find that again. And I found this little charm from a bracelet, so it was kind of an interesting find. And a lot more seagulls. There was this bird that I immediately noticed because it was different from the others and had a different beak, so if anybody can tell me what breed or species of bird that is, please tell me. And there's this sedimentary rock, I believe, that has a bunch of holes in it, came from the ocean probably, and of course, my favorite, some sandpipers running along with their tiny little legs. course, we have a brush by with our lovely local Coast Guard doing their job, keeping people safe. Thank you, guys. And here's where things got worse. I do not condone feeding wildlife at all, but unfortunately, my mother threw a piece of her sandwich at this lovely bird right here, the king of the beach, and things just got so much worse. There was flocking, cawing, and of course, the average steal of a cheese stick by one of these birds. Don't feed wildlife, guys. Unfortunately, there is a lot of bird watching in this video because I couldn't get my phone in the water because that's what I used to record because I left my waterproof case at home. But here we come, here we go, watch out, it's the big boss of the beach, and he's cawing again. His lovely screams. I was laughing so hard at those head tilts. I don't know why they do it, probably to get more oomph into the voice, but I just found it so funny. And me and my mom went on another walk, finding more of those interesting birds, but more importantly, a cool shell. Now, I was a little concerned. I just saw the shell buried and thought somebody was living in there, but she pulled it up and it was just the top of the shell. It was really cool to see the structure in it. Now, because this video wasn't long enough already, we get to the drawing portion. I printed out a coloring page of, well, a beach scene, because I didn't really have the energy in me to do anything else but color. So I started on this piece, which is a journey. I'm using one set of marker, well, two set of the same brand of markers because I wanted to try them out. And unfortunately, there weren't really all the colors that I needed, and the colors that were on the caps did not resemble what came out on the page. I thought I was gonna get this lovely peachy tannish brown, and I got straight yellow. Now you guys already know my feelings on yellow, so this was kind of a disappointment. Again, here is where the colors on the caps really don't match the color on the page. I expected a lovely light peach color, and I got straight red, which was a bit of a problem. And again here, I expected a gray, and it's just blue. It's just blue. So we're gonna pretend that this is a beach on some faraway planet that for some reason there's a surfboard on it. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Where I kind of gave a bit, because I looked at the set of markers that I had and I saw absolutely nothing even remotely close to green. So I broke and I grabbed a Sharpie, which was probably not the best idea because it was an old Sharpie, so it was kind of run down and I couldn't quite get in all the tiny crevices, and having to reach over the page only made that worse. So we have an interesting piece here for sure. Now here's the part I dreaded entirely. These are fine markers, which wasn't probably the best thing to use for a coloring page, but there was a lot of space to cover. Like, a lot. So I hope you'll forgive me for instead using hashing instead of just straight up coloring the whole thing, because nobody has time for that. It was time for dinner. I was hungry. I wanted to finish this piece, and by golly, I was going to. And me checking the camera because my dad bumped into it because, again, it was time for dinner. So I was doing my best to just finish this piece, get enough color on the page that you could tell, oh, a cool sunset, look at that, it's pretty. And it's an alien planet, so it can have hashed sky if I wanted to, okay? And with that, I was just about done with this piece. So I hope you guys have a good day, and see you next time.